What's up everyone, this is Marky2200 here and welcome back to my Need for Speed testing series. Today we'll be ranking all the classic muscle cars in Need for Speed Pro Street from worst to best based on their speed capabilities. As always, we're running manual gearbox, all the cars have been equipped with stage 3 handling and performance packages and have been tuned properly. Tunes of every car are in the description down below. With that said, let's see which of the classic muscle cars in Need for Speed Pro Street is the worst for speed racers. And that, at number 9, we have the Plymouth Roadrunner. It did a 142.20, and the main reason why this car is so low on the list is because it has a glitched force induction. No matter what force induction you put on this car, it will act like it never has one. It also has a speed limit of 370 km an hour, and that just hinders the car badly. At number 8 we have the Hemi-Cuda. The Cuda is just heavily down on power. It has a short gearbox that can only reach 350 km an hour, and this car has very bouncy rear suspension. You will have to slow down for hills and it's just generally not fun to drive. Then at number 7 we have the C2 Corvette, and that did a 137.29, so that's about 3 seconds faster than the previous one. The C2 Corvette is just down on power, it has a bad gearbox, but it handles quite nicely though. But that will only get you so far. Then at number 6 we have the Shelby GT500, which is pretty much the exact same story as the C2 Corvette. It handles good. Gearbox, well, the gearbox is decent, that's a big change from the C2 Corvette. But again, this car's main problem is power, that it's just not enough. And that's why it's so low on this list. Then at number 5 we have the Chevelle. And the Chevelle is pretty much just a direct upgrade over the Plymouth Hemi-Cuda. This car's main problem, like the Hemi-Cuda, is its rear suspension. It's just stupidly bouncy, and I would say the suspension is even worse than the Hemi-Cuda. It has more power than the Hemi-Cuda, but you know, it's stupidly unpleasant to drive. Then at number 4 we have the Challenger, and the Challenger's gearbox is interesting because its 4th gear is also very long, meaning that 5th gear is usable, but it's still not very powerful. It has somewhat bouncy rear suspension, but it's not nearly as bad as the Chevelle or the Hemi-Cuda. Moving on to the podium positions, at number 3 we have the Camaro. And the Camaro's power is, you know, decent, but this car's main problem is its gearbox. Its ratio is very short, just like on the Acura and Tegra Type R, limiting its top speed. Then at number 2 we have the Charger, and the Charger is interesting because suspension handling wise it's a mess, but it has got great power and a good gearbox. It's the only car from the classic muscle cars on stage 3 performance that can reach 400 km an hour. Yes, the suspension is a mess, but it's quite powerful. But at number 1 we have the Speed Kings car, the Pontiac GTO from 1965. And you know, I would say the Pontiac GTO doesn't have as much power as the Charger, but the Charger had terrible suspension issues, and that is something that this car does not suffer from. And that pretty much means that this car is a natural, good speed car. It's not amazing like the Master 3, but the Master 3 is on a whole other planet. This car can reach 350 km an hour quite easily. And the only thing that I would say is a bit of an issue, well actually two things. The gear gaps, you know, when you shift up or shift down, the gaps between the gears are very long. If you're using manual with clutch, that's not a problem, but because the majority of the people are using either automatic or manual, you will have these gaps, so that's an issue. But the gearbox ratio is also slightly too short, but it's not that bad, because the top speed on this car is 398 km an hour, meaning it's just about 5 km slower than what it could have been, but that can easily be cured with stage 4 performance. So I will take this car and I will test it with stage 4 performance after I'm done with every other car testing in stage 3 performance, but overall this is not a bad speed car. Actually, I quite like it. So those were all the classic muscle cars in Need for Speed Pro Street from worst to best based on their speed capabilities, with the GTO being the best. I hope you liked this video. If you did, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you wish to stay updated on all my future videos, consider subscribing. This has been Marky2200 for now. Thank you so much for watching and hope to see you guys very soon. Take care.